How's it going, everybody? itsTimboFlex here. We're going over Townstar, which is a crypto earning game. You can earn crypto or NFTs through competitions that are bi-weekly currently. And every now and then they have a weekly competition month, but that's usually in May. It's created by Gala Games, and you should check them out. So today we are going over how to get to gas in under 45 minutes and how to make an iron sale within 2 hours. So what does it take to make gas? The first, gas needs crude oil, which you make by oil pumps, energy, and water tanks. What does it take to make iron? So iron is in a mine, which you need a mountain for. So if you pick a spot without a mountain, you cannot do this. You have to pick a spot with a mountain. It takes a mine, which takes lumber, water tanks, and energy. What does it take to make lumber? Wood, water tanks, and energy. And what does it take to make water tanks? First, you need to build it with oak for some reason, wood, and then it needs to be surrounded by 3 water. So most people use ponds, but if we're talking about speed, don't worry about that. Instead, use marshes. Marshes are a great way to start off your water tank production, especially because ponds you're going to be using with your crops. Marshes are going to be way up there in the mountain, and you can use it close to your industrial build, which the shorter the distance between your water facility and its location, which is the warehouse, the less water facilities you're going to need. So first things first, we're going to pick a spot in the mountains, and we're going to go from there. So let's get started. So note that when you're in competition mode, it's smart to have your title that you already want copied into your clipboard so that you can Control V, paste it into the text frame right there. So there's no wasted time. Next, you want to sell a gas immediately. Don't do this if you don't have a plan already in mind. But if you do have a plan, now you do because of this video, selling the gas isn't going to hurt you. It's actually going to speed things along. I'm going to end up selling 2 bundles of gas before I actually hit gas production. So I actually could have sold a second gas right there and sped things up. Next, you want to pick which side you want your driver on so that you know you need to look at the map and see which side has the closest city and destroy all the ponds except for the one in the middle for your crops so you have extra cash. Each pond gives you an extra $2,500. Go ahead and start your windmills so your builders can go ahead and get started, and then optimize your wheat field. I'm going to be using an NFT here just for speed, but it would add an extra 15 minutes if I wanted to build a pond right there, which I eventually will pretty soon. So now that we're going to be upping wheat production and flour production, we're going to need an extra farmer. So that's going to be right now. There we go. Three farmers should cut it, and you can actually place them way far out there. As long as they're making round trips, they'll never go back to their houses. So you can actually place them all the way in the corner over there to keep them out of the way and keep shade at a minimum. Shade, for those of you that don't know, is something that each building casts that reduces the grow time of crops. And we're going to get into the science of that later on, but windmills cast 3 shade. That's very important when spacing out your windmills. We're going to want to make a rainbow of windmills all the way around our crops and making sure that the shade does not affect our crops. I need a t-shirt that has one of the lumberjack houses on it being built, and in big bold letters it needs to say more lumberjacks, because that's basically my catchphrase anytime anytime that I'm building something. More lumberjacks is never a problem. There we go. So we should have about 4 to 5 lumberjacks right now, and that should be sufficient for the amount of windmills we have. Once we once we reach 9 windmills, we're gonna want at least one lumberjack per windmill. I didn't do that here, but that's one of the mistakes that I caught, and it probably would have sped me up. All right, so now we're going to be creating a wind turbine. So I have to calculate how many spaces of shade each windmill is casting. So originally I didn't like where I put it because it was right next to that windmill, and it's casting 3 shade, meaning if I, to the left of that windmill right there, if I count out 3 tiles, that's not where I want to put it. And at the end of that third tile, 2 tiles on each side, so like a T formation in a circle around that windmill. And so all the windmills are casting that. So right there is the perfect spot. That's shade free. All right, now it's time to build a second pond. We got that worker for the future. He's not for right now, but he was cheap and doesn't cost too much. So I went ahead and built him. All right, now we're gonna be optimizing the wheat field to keep up with the 9 windmills that we have. The best way to optimize a wheat field is to make a rectangle around it and then put dirt roads alongside each side. That way you don't need more farmers. You can actually reduce the amount of farmers once you get to this point. And they'll be just be making round trips and keeping that wheat up for the flour. All right, next we need to be making worker houses. Make sure that we're prepared for the energy and water tank production that we're about to make. That oak right there is in preparation, so I always make oak early before you start to make your water facility so that you don't have to wait on it. At this point, I'm 3 steps away from making gas, so I'm gonna go ahead and sell another gas. If you have at least 5 gas, this is safe because 5 gas times 5 sales of flour is 100,000. That's more than enough to do the entire creation of gas. For gas, we're gonna need water facility, wind turbines for energy, and 2 gas refineries, or just refineries, so that we can passively make gas. Each refinery together is going to need 8 energy and 5 water tanks. We're going to need crude oil pumps, which we have right there. I'm going to eventually have 4. And then the same amount of workers is smart. Because remember, the workers have to get the oil pumps and the wind turbines. So we don't want them to be slowed down by getting multiple stops. All right, and now it's time to move the gas tank much closer than it is right now. Otherwise, it's going to take forever. Having that warehouse right there is crucial because that is where the water tanks and the energy is stored. Without that, you can't do anything. Now it's time to make more wind turbines. Keep up with the energy demand. Keep shade in mind. Wind turbines cast 2 shade instead of 3. All right, so now it's time to optimize speed. Right now I'm waiting on a build, and so the more dirt roads you have, the faster everything goes. You want this place to look like a sandlot. Okay, now it's time. We have water, we have energy, we have gas. Time to make a lumber mill. Oh, and a second refinery. We added another worker there just for expectancy of work. Excess is always a good thing. As long as you got the money, more is better. Now we have passive gas at 53. So right now, I'm basically just trying to make as many dirt roads as possible and just trying to put speed up to a maximum. Honestly, that oil pump probably wasn't necessary, but like I said, excess is king. There's that lumber mill. All right, now we're ready to start working on the mine. First, we need to pave the dirt road for the mine. So every mine requires a paved road. To pave a road, we need 3 wood and 1 lumber. So once that lumber mill gets built, there it is. It's going to create a lumber, and then my builders are going to pave the road. And it's paved. So let's build the mine. So this is actually where I made a mistake. Let's watch. So I realized that the energy cost for everything was getting a little high, and so I made a decision to only uh, destroy my right side windmills and turn them into turbines, when I should have done all of them once I reached 50K. I should have let this ride for a second, gotten up to 50K, and then destroyed all of them and turned them all into wind turbines. That would have sped up my production by at least 45 minutes. I would have hit an iron sale at an hour 45. Easy. I'm also noticing that we did not have enough water facilities at this point. So that was my other mistake. I should have, and I should have known. You always need 3 water facilities at the get-go. So I'm probably going to do this build again. I'm going to fix my mistakes. I'm going to try to reach an iron sail at an hour and 30 minutes. The reason why I'm practicing speed is for competitions. Speed is everything. The faster you get your build done and just let it ride with high FPS, the better of your chance of winning. There we go. After those water facilities, I'm set. I'm using the water tank there, but honestly, you really need to put a pond. And there we have it. Okay, so that was my first tutorial video, first video ever on YouTube. I hope you liked it. If you liked what you saw, please give me a follow on Twitch, subscribe, and all that jazz. So, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Anything. If you're an experienced builder in Townstar, give me advice. Give me all the advice you can. I know you're not going to want to because that means I'm going to catch up in the competition, but you know, whatever. If you are not an experienced builder in Townstar and you learned something, please tell me what you learned. What was your favorite part about the video? What can I do better? And what did I shine on other than my head? So, have a good night, have a good morning, whatever you're doing, be good.